The opposition leader, Sussan Ley, joins us now from Albury. Good morning, Susan, and I just wanted to send our condolences over the passing of your mum, Angela. I know you've got much more important things to do this week, so we thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, Bridget, and it's very kind of you, and I appreciate the good wishes from all of your viewers. It's a tough personal time for me, but I've loved the fact that my mum was able to see me elected as the first female leader of the Liberal Party, and I know that she would expect me to absolutely get cracking, working hard for the Australian people.
I'm sure she'd be very proud. Let's move to your reshuffle at the ministry now. What's going to be the chief difference between the leadership style you'll embody compared to that of Peter Dutton?
I said we would do things differently and I would bring a fresh approach, and I intend to be very consultative, very approachable, and to listen carefully, not just to my colleagues in the party room who have a vital role developing policy, harnessing the extraordinary talents that they all bring to that room, but listening to the Australian people, not lecturing from the top down, listening from the ground up. Bridget, I'm known for my work ethic. Australians would expect that of us. It's tough times for many Australians out there. We got a tough message from them at the last election, and we need to approach communities that we seek to represent with humility, understanding, and above all, that listening and engagement.
Was the split with the Nationals embarrassing in your view? How did it happen and how did you get back together?
We had disagreements and they've been ventilated and they've been commented on. The most important thing is that when David Littleproud and I stood up yesterday to announce that the coalition was officially reforming, we present a very strong, united team on behalf of all of the Australian communities who sent us to Canberra to represent them, from the city to the bush to the suburbs to every single corner of this country. And we want to work together because we are stronger together. And whether you voted for Anthony Albanese or whether you voted for us, every Australian deserves, wants and appreciates a strong opposition to actually take the arguments and the advocacy up to the government every single day.
Is this really a united team? You've had leadership challenges, you've had people ventilating their views on policy. There does appear to be a clear schism, especially within your own party. Are you going to be able to command the loyalty you need, Sussan Ley?
That loyalty is there, that unity is there. And yes, there was a leadership ballot, but everyone agreed that after that ballot, as we walk out of that party room, we would do so united, because we're very conscious of the mission that we have, which is to firstly provide a strong opposition, but also to work very hard for the Australian people. I'm back home in my community in Albury. I'm going to talk to farmers who are looking for rain. I'm going to talk to mums and dads who are worried about paying the bills. I'm going to talk to families at the footy and small businesses down the street. And I know that in every conversation, people will be expressing what they want us to do for them and the circumstances of their lives. And with the rich life experience across every member of my team, we can respond well, we can represent well, we can respect, reflect and represent modern Australia.
Let's move to some of the decisions you've made on that shadow cabinet. For a party that's trying to rebrand itself with Australian women, why so few women in the shadow cabinet?
Look, 40% of my shadow ministry is made up of women, and across our party room more broadly,
not as many
Bridget,
as under
I always
Peter Dutton,
want to
though,
see
is that
more
right?
women.
Not as many under the former leader.
Well, the party is led by a woman, and can I say, when we make the calls that we need to, I will be at the table for every single one of those big calls, and I will see those decisions through the prism of someone who, in my life, has worked hard, has saved hard, who's had trials and tribulations, but who understands what it's like to be a working mum, balancing home, family, job, rushing between here and there, being a carer and looking after your community as a volunteer as well. And to bring that perspective to every decision that we make is a really important thing, and one I'm looking forward to doing.
Jane Hume has been a strong spokesperson for Australian women. Why was she demoted?
Well, everyone did not achieve a role in the shadow ministerial lineup. Jane is a terrific colleague and someone who will continue to do outstanding work representing the state of Victoria as a senator. But this isn't about who's sitting at what table and what role they have. It's broader than that, Bridget. It's about every one of the 54 members of our party room having a role to play.
Was she, I'm sorry to interrupt, Susan. Was she punished for her policy advocacy on work from home?
People can reflect on a range of things. This is not about that. This is about putting the best team on the field and respecting Jane's talents, everyone's talents. And the communication skills of so many of my team mean that they will feature prominently across the debate and carry that argument and that advocacy forward.
The Nationals clearly have had some rumblings in their party room. Would you have preferred to sit alongside, say, Michael McCormack as Nationals leader rather than David Littleproud?
Well, I don't sit in the Nationals party room, and I don't reflect on what happens in their party room, and I think David and I agree that we don't reflect on each other's decisions and we respect our separate roles. I'll work with whoever is elected, and I'm working very productively and respectfully with David, because that's what the Australian people would expect of us, to be that united team going forward. Remember, we're here to work for them.
We're hearing this morning that the family of a young Aboriginal man who has died in police custody in Alice Springs is very devastated over this death. He was an NDIS participant, and there are some questions being raised by the family. For you, how concerned are you about the numbers of Aboriginal people dying in custody?
Very concerned indeed, and it's vital that we get this right when it comes to a country, Australia, responding to the circumstances of our first Australians. Every time I hear a story like this, it breaks my heart, Bridget. And I know that with the connection between the NDIS and some of our most disadvantaged communities, that's important work for us to do and something we'll be focusing on early.